Hey, so I'm back again today with the how to use the design section. And of course, later on in the next video, I'm going to show how to use each sort of aspect of the toolbox. So kind of ignoring the workspace and the toolbox right now, let's sort of focus on design. So because this is AppLab, the design section is meant to mimic um, the shape of your app. So you have to first head over into the design section, which is located next to code. So just starting with theme. I personally find it easier to pick a theme, but you are of course totally free to customize it. So I'm going to go with pastel. So what this will do is make sure that each one of your elements actually matches a certain theme just to sort of give your app a more professional look. So starting off, I want to show what each element is. So there's a button. So that works exactly how you'd expect. You click on it. You're free to change the item text, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you also can, it's also very important that you change the IDs for each button that you use so that you remember what they are when you go into coding. So let's say I want to use text input. I would create this box again if I wanted to put a placeholder such as type here, so that when I ultimately type, I would know where that is. So I'm just going to give an example of that right now. So A, B, C, see how that disappears? That's sort of the basics of that. Drop-down menus, you would fill them with different options. And again, when you run, you can pick between them. Radio buttons, if you're attempting to make an online quiz, you could check them. Checkbox if you want to do something that requires multi-select or sort of a set of instructions. And then we have images. So there are a few sections of code.org that allow you to sort of choose from their own free library, and I would definitely recommend that with images. They have this whole set of icons. So let's just say I want to use the PayPal logo. I could change the icon color to sort of match how I wanted it to be. You could also use a canvas, which is if you're trying to implement something that involves drawing. This tends to be slightly more complicated to code and set up, so that won't be covered in this course. And then, of course, if you want to add an additional screen, you can also add an additional screen through this, or if you have a screen from another project, you would click import screen. So now I'm going to show what a chart can do. So if you're actually utilizing the data portion of this, which we won't really go into as much, you can use this to sort of take the data from the chart and sort of graph it. We also have a slider if you want to do something sort of like on Instagram where you could do a slide. So again, this works by sliding. And then there's photo select. So if you want to sort of go through photos, this is the best application for that. So again, you change the theme, it sort of changes it for you. And then when you would actually use the interface, you would remember to change the name of each option, and you would code that in. So let's just say slider 1. If I wanted to, when the slider is whatever, I would put slider 1 as the ID because the computer would recognize what that is. So that's just sort of a brief overview on the possibilities that you could use with the design section. So you can use the design section as much or as little as you want. It ultimately comes down to your creativity. So best of luck with that.